For the bare necessities, the simple bare necessities.
Hello and welcome to episode 98 of That's a Shame. It's a Sunday. You can hear in my voice. Go on.
No, so we're going to have to go from the top.
Why?
Because that was unfathomably depressing.
What was wrong with it?
Well, you Eeyore your way through it like an absolute sweltering, melted bastard that you are. That we both are.
Hello and welcome to episode 90. What's wrong with that one?
No, that was...
Oh, hello and welcome to episode 98.
I'm not even going to clap for this one. Please go back.
That's a shame.
You can do better.
Hello and welcome to episode 98 of That's a Shame.
So are you sticking with Bryn?
Don't have any attachment to it. In the long term, I just thought I'd try it out because there are no bad ideas in workshopping.
But this isn't workshopping, this is the actual recording.
It's a glimpse behind the curtain into the process that powers the show.
Are you going to give it one more go from the top?
Hello and welcome to episode 98 of That's a Shame. I'm your lead Deej, Isaac B to the D. Joining me, it's D.Dizzle.
D.Dizzle.
That's what you call yourself.
Far too close to Z.Diddle, so I can't accept.
How's it going, hey?
Not bad, thanks. Apart from the fact that it's warm as hell.
I've been fine with all the temperatures so far, but being hungover and 34 degrees is not good.
It's not the one.
Horrid, in fact.
Very much not the one.
Making me feel all kinds of ill.
34 degrees is so far above the threshold that I, have been set in life.
Yeah, what's your threshold, like 24?
17? About 24, 25. Above that, people are like, oh, it's 26 tomorrow. And I'm like,
oh, fuck.
I'll stay inside then. Oh, you're so miserable.
Yeah, you are.
You know what? Where were you when it was raining? Huh?
Where were you?
Probably
outside, were you?
I was right outside.
Do you frolic in the rain a lot?
Singing in it.
Ah, interesting. If conventional. I expected some more original take.
I mean, I do other stuff as well, but that's probably the primary.
Oh, okay, that's like private stuff that you do, like wanking in the rain.
Yeah, well, obviously.
Okay, well.
I suppose it's not private anymore.
But fair enough. Anyway, it's going to be quite a show, isn't it?
Quite a show.
Can you tell?
You're dampening the expectations. No, it's going to be a hell of a show.
It's going to be a fun day.
We've got some stuff to talk about. We've got little things here and there, but we're doing, once more, a big break from the old tradition. Mm-hmm. We're opening... After the chit chat, obviously.
Yeah. Was that the chit chat?
That was probably it. Although the whole thing is chit chat, but I meant the chit.chat.
Yeah.
That starts these Sunday episodes.
Chit.chat would be such a good domain name to get if you were developing a kind of app that meant you could shout into your phone.
Yeah.
And other people could hear it in their phones. Now that would be revolutionary.
That sounds like telecommunications.
No, very different.
We're opening with shame mail.
We sure are, because it pertains to our well-received episode on the Disney 4.
Yes.
Entitled Disney 16. Thank you for all your feedback. I'm glad you enjoyed it. Still open to hearing all of your Disney 4s, okay? Here's Toby on the topic. On Disney. I don't know if you've noticed, but all of Toby's emails begin on something.
Yeah.
Just thought I should flag that up.
I think it's a kind of ode to Keats, as it were.
I think it could be. There's a certain academic quality to it, which I think really works. While I am confident my opinion on the matter merits no discussion, Toby, please, don't think so little of yourself. I thought your audience might want to hear what Disney characters your friends perceive the two of you as, outside the strange little bubble you live in. Now, I'm going to take objection to two things there. First of all, Toby seems to consider himself multiple friends wrapped into one package.
Yep. Unless he's done a quick, a
survey.
Poll, yeah.
Oh, he could have
Unlikely.
Could have done a little type form there.
Yeah.
Strange little bubble that you live in.
Yeah.
What's that about then?
Well, I don't know. No one lives in...
He thinks we're that good witch from The Wizard of Oz.
Oh, yeah.
Glindoids.
She lives in bubbles.
Glyndon.
Glandoid. And the fairy godmother from Shrek 2, doesn't she come in a bubble?
Yes, I believe she does. It's a nice bit of parody. So, we'll leave that by the wayside, but clearly some errors from the start, which is probably why some of these...
Are they erroneous?
Some of them are not going to make sense. That will... I mean, it's just good to kind of contextualise it with that. Let's start with Isaac, because I'm him.
Okay.
Iago. Small Gilbert Gottfried-like animal with a devious little mind. Now, I can't think of anyone less like Gilbert Gottfried than me.
He loves something little something, doesn't he?
Yeah, that's a good. It's a positive trait.
Repetitive.
So you're saying that would be one of his.
I'm
Disney
saying that
forms.
it's projection because repetition is like parrot fashion, isn't it? And he said you're Iago.
Who is a parrot.
There you go.
Yes, that's very nice. Now, I do like Iago as a character, but he's a bit of a bitch, isn't he? He's a bit subservient, and I don't think...
Well, you did call me Sebastian, so...
He's not subservient.
He's literally a
subservient.
servant.
Do you think the word
You
is
compared
subservient?
me to two different crabs, and I didn't bring that up at the time because I let it slide.
Hang about, he's a lobster, Sebastian.
Oh, fuck off.
You
He's
can't
a crab.
just call all
He's not
things...
a lobster.
Are you joking right now? Do you want me to Google this on air?
Well, I mean, okay.
Here we go. What animal...
Isn't he putting the crab dish in Le Poisson?
That's why it's so funny.
Is it? Why is he so fucking short?
Stop, you're making me type The Lion King instead of The Little Mermaid. Okay, he's a Jamaican
He's a crab, right? Thank you. There we go.
Oh, hang on. Digital Spy. No, he is a crab.
He's a crab.
Okay, well. Disney says he's a crab, but we say lobster, so there's some controversy here.
Right.
First of all, Sebastian looks more like a lobster than a crab.
No, he doesn't.
Now, we know David Attenborough say digitalspy.com/movies feature AA. You know the rest. But you ever seen a crab with massive, all caps, pincers like this? Didn't think so. Not to mention the fact that lobsters have heads distinct from their bodies.
Sorry,
crabs
I
don't.
refuse to accept. Crabs are also round-bodied and tend to scuttle sideways, but Ariel's BFF is long-bodied. He's literally the shortest, roundest creature under God's blue sea.
He is agile as you like, isn't he? And that's a major plot point.
Yes, but also there are mermaids.
There's also...
What about the fact that Disney balded Flounder for the Little Mermaid 2? They somehow managed to make him look like a middle-aged fish. Do you remember I posted this horror to the Twitter a little while ago?
Then, do you suppose?
I don't know. It is absolutely horrific.
What about talking about horrific fish? Here's something that I think of very frequently, and I just want to embed it in other people's minds as well. When you buy some fish to eat, which... You know, we've all done.
Right.
I think that's a universal truth.
When you say this, do you mean any, like if I buy some battered fillets from the shop, or do you mean a fish?
Any of these.
Okay.
Know that there's a good chance from my limited research that fish's tongue was chewed out and replaced by a parasite that lived in its mouth and ate for it.
Oh, yeah, no, those
And you're
happen.
eating the shit of that parasite. Now, that could be true. And in my head, at least, it is. But it's really off-putting, isn't it? And I think a good argument to
It's just
leave
a horrible
fish alone.
idea,
Yes,
isn't it?
It's so upsetting. Imagine if you woke up and your tongue had been replaced by a big pink freak. Disgusting. So anyway, this Iago bit's not on the mark. Now, this one I can get a bit more on board with. Captain Hook. He's a narcissist. I disagree there. Possible psychopath, or psychopath, as some people like to say.
Wrongly.
Definitely irons his pants. Obsessive. When does Captain Hook appear to be an obsessive?
He's a little bit
fastidious
obsessive about, he does, with his moustache, he's always making sure it's properly pointed with his hook. His uniform. Always very smart.
To be fair, he is actually
his
very
hair,
well turned out.
well coiffed.
I'm going to headcanon that it's the Jason Isaacs version of Captain Hook from the excellent Peter Pan.
Thus aligning with my girlfriend's view that you are the same person.
Well, we do have both of our names. I've just been hiding one of them from you.
Oh, no.
Yes. So that one, that's all right. Nearer the mark. Now, this is where it goes very silly.
Oh, no.
It's dopey. The dwarf. Nonsensical. Makes little sense to those around him or he of them. I make a lot of sense to me and others. So that's enough of that one. Anton Ego. Never
I nearly
satisfied.
picked Anton Ego for you.
Why?
Pardon?
Why?
What do you mean?
What do you mean?
What bit's wrong?
Well, I'm not a very tall food critic, so that's a big one.
You're a food critic.
I love
in that
rats.
You're critical of food.
Critical of everything.
Well, there you go. So was he. He was miserable.
Was he?
Yeah.
You think he maybe branched out from food criticism every few
I believe
months?
that you both sleep entirely
Straight like
as
a
if
coffin.
you're straight like a coffin.
Well, you've got to practice for death, I always say.
Okay, yeah. Just in case you don't get robified.
Hypercritical, but a tenderness beneath. That is
Yeah.
true. We both as well have lovely voices. And then he ends by saying definitely autistic, which again, it's just not, it's not either of us, Toby. Toby's allowed to say things like that because he is both autistic and has worked for an autism charity. So I think that gives him the right to comment.
Yeah, okay, right.
Yeah.
We'll go.
Now let's go on to yours.
Okay.
And I think you're going to see a lot more truth.
Oh, right.
these
Yeah,
four.
I thought you might.
I think you'll like the first one.
Okay.
But not for the reasons he's chosen. Flynn from Tangled. Now, he's a fan favourite.
Oh, right, yeah.
You remember him?
Yeah.
He's a handsome, smouldering guy.
He is. Get on to what Toby said.
Definitely thinks he's all that, but probably is not.
Right.
Means well up to a point. Kidnaps women.
Oh, cool.
That one has a question mark in brackets after it.
Right.
Ursula from
Take that.
the littlest merm. Merm. That's a horrid word. Took mannerisms from a prolific drag queen. Did you?
Yeah.
Fundamentally evil.
Yep.
Likes a good song.
Do love a good song.
There's no canon that Ursula likes singing, unless we're assuming that all Disney characters always know that they're singing.
Yeah.
Which is generally not accepted.
No.
So, unless Toby's seen some deleted scenes
I think
where she
what he
buys an
missed out
iPod.
was really cool voice.
Very cool voice.
Very talented.
At what?
Making potions, turning people into weeds.
Yeah, I guess. I'm not sure that those talents serve the greater community.
No, but not all of them do.
But I don't know if we go around calling serial killers very talented.
No, but then again, you were Captain Hook, whose ultimate goal is to kill a bunch of children. So
Does he want to kill them or just get rid of them? I think
he
he wants to kill
a
Peter
sword
Pan.
right at.
Yeah, I know, but who wouldn't swing at a pan while he's flying around taunting you?
Yeah, well,
Slice
that's who
them
you
down.
aligned. You said you were Peter Pan.
I'd still slice Peter Pan if he came within an inch.
Goodness me.
And here you've got Baloo, work-shy hedonist. Very interesting thing to read from Baloo. I know that he is both those things, but it's a very bleak.
It's very
outlook on a
Ayn
friendly
Rand
bear.
kind of
Yes, it is.
reading.
Pals around with a strange creature that isn't like the other animal. I
like
he
that
must
one.
mean
I
Mark.
think it must mean you.
Possibly for tax purposes. Does Baloo get to write off Mowgli as an expense?
That's so good.
That
yeah.
is a good joke. And then last of all, Syndrome, Ginger.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair.
I think we should do Toby just for him.
Well, before we do, let's hear what I replied to that email. In
Oh,
all
did
caps
you?
Saying, now do yours. And he did.
Okay.
He begins the email.
I'm so excited.
Sigh, fine, which is those two words kind of encapsulate Toby.
That is how he starts most.
Fine, like that. Okay. I've got to say, I think they're pretty solid. I think he's nailed
If
his
Jiminy
own
Cricket
character.
isn't on this list, he needs to take a long,
okay.
hard look at himself.
Number one, Zazu. Irritant bureaucrat who believes everyone around him is an idiot and he knows best. Everyone is an idiot, but so is he. Rabbit. Friendly but in a distant and superior way. Loves gardening. Hates people touching his things.
Loves maps.
He does love a map and bouncing and carrots. Auguste Gusteau believes in individuals' worth and betterment through hard work. Anyone can cook. Fat. Figment of the subconscious? ? And lastly, Eglantine Price from Bedknobs and Broomsticks enjoys old books and being left well alone. Children are amusing in short bursts. I think they're pretty solid.
good.
But you think Jiminy Cricket's a bigger contender?
Yeah.
Why?
Always
Like bossing
bouncing
around
around
puppets.
telling people what's right and wrong.
He's not
as evidenced by his first email.
But hang on, isn't a lot of Jiminy's character arc based on his failure to do exactly that? Like, he's not a strict enough moral guide, or Pinocchio wouldn't have become
Well, he's
a
just a
stupid
bit.
actor.
He's just a bit too small, I think.
Status-wise,
Both.
I don't know that that's the problem, because he's clearly doing enough right to attract the attention of that star fairy.
Yeah.
And she trusts him to the ends of the earth. And I
She
don't
was a
think he can
fucking
follow
idiot.
through.
That was a poor hire.
Yeah, but I guess there were no other
So
creatures
he's
in the room.
both overly moral and incompetent.
Wow, Toby,
that's
you
something
can
to say
direct
about
that.
Toby.
Declan at shame.city. So there we are. That's the Disney 4. I think we should consider doing this with other franchises, like perhaps the Harry Potter franchise.
Oh,
at some
yeah.
point. What about that time at Edinburgh? At Edinburgh sounds really stupid. In Edinburgh, but at the festival. You knew what I meant. Where a bunch of people who I don't know well at all and have maybe interacted with for an hour, tops, and not even all at once, were playing that game. And it was then reported to me that unanimously, they were trying to assign each character to a person that they all knew. And it was unanimously decided that I was Voldemort. I was furious.
Oh,
I was livid.
Who do you see yourself as?
Is that a Dumbledore a real question?
Oh, fuck off.
Come on!
Get out of
Of
town.
course not, but here's a little twist on that. I'm
Closet
also
gay.
Fawkes.
Is that what you're saying?
Dumbledore's not closeted, is he?
Well, he doesn't.
just
He's
doesn't
not
come
exactly
up.
loud and proud.
I don't know. We don't know what he gets up to in his private life.
God, in
we
that
only see it
office.
through Harry's lens.
No wonder you have to go up that weird
Spiral
staircase.
Well, yeah, he's got to, it's his space.
He's got to give him time to put his stuff away.
Does
is that what you're
Dumbledore
saying?
sleep in that office?
Almost certainly.
Because there's no bed in it.
I think he just stands up.
I bet there's a spell that makes you not asleep anymore. It's
Probably.
called like Zombificus Forever-tude. And they just cast it on
Zombificus Forever-tude?
Yeah. You have to cast it into a mirror so that it affects you.
Wow.
I think that's Albus's way. Here's another reason why I'm like him. His full name, Albus Percival Wilfrid Brian Dumbledore.
So bored. of this.
APWBD. Now, mine is I, so that's another big vowel. It's one of the
One of the big vowels.
Then there's an HP, so there's a P as well, and then BD. So that's, it's about all the letters as far as I can.
Okay. Yeah.
But yeah, maybe that's something to consider for future episodes. I'm thinking
are you giving to
107,
me?
108. Oh, I'm not prepared to do it yet.
Because at uni, they did the similar thing in first year.
Mm-hmm.
I was somewhat gutted to be roundly and unanimously
Colin
cast
Creevy.
as Gilderoy Lockhart.
Oh, that's a damning indictment.
Yeah,
of your
isn't it?
Character. Oh well, good at Obliviator charms.
Oh, great. Obliviate.
Apart from the one that fucks up, but that's because the
wand's broken.
But
he really
they do say a bad wizard blames his wand, don't they?
No.
They say that in every book. It's
Someone
the opening
pops
of each
up.
chapter. I've had a book idea today that I'd like to run past
Okay,
you.
go for it.
Why? I'm going to give you how it came to me first because the context is important.
I'm worried about what it is.
So I
then.
woke up definitely still drunk.
Yeah.
And on that
Covered in
precipice
sweat.
of where you're going to throw up. But I didn't, which was nice. I stole some of Danger's Huel to kind of temper the
God, that
stomach.
would only make it worse for me.
Do you think? Well, I just thought I needed something to, to kind of counteract all the alcohol.
Yeah.
And I was looking at his bookshelf because it was directly in front of where I was sleeping. And I saw a book that appeared to be called Eat, as in the food chain, because it had the same logo, Documents. And I'm pretty sure it's not called that, but I didn't check.
Yeah.
But it made me, in my sort of drunken delirium, think of this idea for a book called Eat This Book. Right, now stick with me because I haven't fleshed it out in a big way. But it's going to be...
Don't use the phrase flesh it out.
Fleshed out, eat this book. Well, that's actually going to be the tagline. Thank you for
Good.
that. If you listen back, I think I do get the copyright claim for that, so you won't be getting any royalties if you're expecting that. Just to preempt
I
it.
actually don't want any on.
Your name's going to be on the book as a kind of contributor, in spirit at least. So I'm thinking 10 chapters. Chapter 1, you open the book, and all it says in chapter 1 is, "It is time to eat this book." Full stop. Then you turn over to chapter 2, and the next...
No, really.
The next
It's
7
definitely
chapters are going to be like increasingly long, tangential, circuitous, and unsettling stories that feature, like in a minor capacity, predominantly, someone who either did or didn't eat this book. Not specifying what the book is, because the book couldn't exist if it was writing about them in universe, and then being, punished in some horrific and really like grotesque fashion.
Okay.
And I'm going for that kind of Pets Cop vibe of just unease. And so these stories would there'd be some connections between them and some characters that recur, but they'd all be different like settings, different times.
So you got 2 chapters left.
Sorry, no, there were 8 of those.
So you got 1 chapter
Yeah,
left.
because then the final chapter is
just again saying,
it is time to eat this book, and then that's the end of the book. What do you think about it?
I
It's going to be $14.99.
think that it's the product of a troubled mind.
Eat This Book by Isaac Bernier Doyle.
And I think that if you insist on putting my name on this book, I will sue.
I'm just going to change it to Declan Deloon.
Declan Deloon.
That's
Wow, no one will ever know.
No, but you can't sue me then, I don't believe.
I'm pretty sure that I can, given that you just said that you would do that.
Think this bit will be in the show.
On the topic of art, though,
Yeah.
I've got a bit of news.
Go on.
It's not necessarily surprise news.
Okay.
But it's
For
maybe
who?
for you.
Okay.
For sooner than you thought.
Uh-huh.
I've had a bit of art commissioned.
Go on.
As in, I commissioned someone to do a bit of art.
Oh, I see. I thought you
No,
had...
God, no, not
I
me.
thought
no.
someone had commissioned you. in
No,
some capacity.
why?
Well, I don't know. I was waiting to find out.
Yeah, no, that would have been a surprise.
Okay.
No, as
Tell us
in,
more about
I
it.
commissioned friend of the show
Uh-huh.
and super cont,
Oh, yeah.
Fotsas,
Yep.
Kangaroo,
Oh,
to do a little bit of art for us.
did the arts.
Saw him do a bit of art on his old Tweetosphere
Oh.
at Big Grey Wallaby.
Yeah. What was it of?
Fucking great. It was of a sort of cartoon superhero hamster.
Oh, like the Overwatch one, maybe.
Yeah, similar, but I don't think it was that one. God,
God,
it may
he
well
could
have
sue
been.
if it wasn't.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
if he
I
came
think
up with
so,
it
yeah.
first.
But I thought I'd get in touch and get him to do a little bit of art. And he's come up with some really good stuff.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Oh, that's exciting. We'll be able to share that.
So we will. I think we've got to use it because basically it's very badge-like. So I think we can use it either actually for badges or for little awards because there's a little banner at the bottom
Oh, that's a good idea.
that we've got a version that says official shame citizen, which we can send
That's
to people.
good. Can we get a Supercon one?
Oh, almost certainly.
Maybe.
I'll send him a message. But we've also got a blank one in
that
which
you
we
can
could
write.
superimpose. And I thought that I would show you what it looks like.
Okay.
And I want your reactions on air.
Oh, wow. That's great.
Isn't it so good?
That is so good. That's really cool. So for listeners who aren't living in my head at the moment,
Yeah,
it's a
that's
kind
mostly-
of, like Declan said, a badge vibe, pink and blue background, the Shame City, hot pink, hot
Exactly.
blue, post pretty colours. A lovely dog, really delightful to look at, much like the one on our cover art.
That's the inspiration.
In a pink party hat.
Exactly, which will have TAS on it
Oh, fuck, that's
as well.
exciting.
And the little banner underneath, like it's a football
that's
club
really
badge
good.
or something.
Oh, that's a very good idea. And if you guys want to get a move on over at patreon.com/shamecity, we will be opening a merch store. I'm sure we can come to some royalty agreement.
Of course we can, yeah.
And that could very well be one of the things featured on it.
I think so.
Exciting times we live in.
It's good stuff, isn't it?
It's all go at Ridgemont High, as I believe is the name of the film.
I was at a restaurant earlier.
Oh, yeah.
I took my dinner.
You took your dinner.
I'm so tired.
You stole from
I
her.
took my sister
okay.
to dinner,
I took my dinner to sister.
to sort of lunch dinner
Okay.
with my
Now, you know that's
girlfriend.
not a thing already.
No, Linner.
Yeah, no.
Drunch.
No, I'm putting
You're right.
both of those out.
I like that I put in an R there.
Yeah.
Drunch.
Well, it had to be done.
You know, it needs it.
It adds a breakfast
Yeah.
and brunch bit as well.
So, yes, my girlfriend and I took my sister to lunch/dinner at a lovely little Italian restaurant in Rayleigh because it's a
Very
birthday
nice.
next week and we can't
Happy
make it.
birthday.
And when we arrived, we were standing, doing as you do, waiting for a table.
Oh, yeah.
And
It's an interesting predicament, isn't it? You have to stand with purpose, which is quite hard direction.
we didn't have to stand with much purpose because it was a Sunday where everyone was almost certainly in the nation hungover. And so there were only like 2 or 3 tables occupied in there, which was quite nice, really. But one of those tables was occupied by a young couple,
How young are we talking? Like 4, 5?
younger than us,
Right.
old enough to drive.
Oh, so 17.
Yeah, it was probably 17, 18.
Okay.
Somewhere between 17 and 20, I'd say.
Wow.
And it wasn't going well.
No, why?
I don't know.
What? How did you
And
pick
to
up
this
on
day-
that, though?
Well, you're going to find out.
Okay.
Because it was exactly the sort of thing, as I said to my dinner companions at the time, and as I say to you now, that I live for.
Oh, okay.
I love this sort of stuff. All I know is that while we were standing waiting, the young woman stood up and she went, I cannot sit here with you. I cannot. It's a piss take.
Okay.
I'm not doing it. Where are the keys? Where are the keys? Like, there were 2 other
How
tables.
loud are we talking? She wasn't using her inside voice.
Shouting.
No.
Yeah. So everyone, the chef in the like open kitchen, he's
Open a
looking
big
up.
hatch with some popcorn.
He's like holding his pizza spatula and just looking.
Is that the official name of it?
That is the name of it. Yeah. Do you not know that?
No, I didn't.
No. Well, there you go. So
There you do.
Yeah.
That's a good little pizza.
I was hoping
You
to slip that
accidentally
past them.
Uh-oh.
Goodness.
Someone's breaking in.
Give me the keys.
Uh-huh.
Where are the keys? That's it. I'm out. I'm going. I'm going. And he He was. I mean, I get the feeling that he probably was in the wrong throughout this, although I have no idea what happened really. But he is something of my hero because he just carried on demolishing that carbonara.
Oh, no, he didn't
my
look up from it?
Not a word.
Wow.
All he did was reach into his pocket and handed the keys over.
Oh, he should have eaten those. That would have been the power
That
play.
would have been a real power play. But don't underestimate him yet.
Okay.
She storms out. Now, at this point, I felt that there was a secondary tension on top of whatever the initial tension was, because she was clearly trying to embarrass him into some sort of apology or deference, and he was having none of it. Like, there was no way she was going to make him budge.
Stoic.
So she was trying to create even more of a scene, but also simultaneously trying to escape the scene. So they had some like window doors out onto the street that weren't really for entry or exit. They were mainly only for getting out to the outside seating area. But she like went out those, slammed one shut behind her so she could get out, went across the road and got into what seemed like a very young couple, a really nice car, a sort of white sports thing. Got into it, and then she like wound the window down, and we asked for a seat by the window, obviously. And I was just watching her, and she was looking in for maybe 5 minutes, trying to catch his eye.
Oh, no.
But he was just eating. Like, I looked over, and in one of the most childish ways possible, like the old scoop and slap with the carbonara, like Lady and the Tramp, but with no second party. And so eventually...
Just Tramp.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was
So
the
eventually
spin-off.
she drove off. Now, I'm going to assume that not many, if any of our listeners, bar maybe my mother, have been to Rayleigh High Street.
Yeah. Have I been there?
I don't actually think that you have, no. So what I will say is there's something of a one-way system. There's a little circuit you can do where part of it's two-way, but the high street itself, only the one. So she disappeared, and then 3 minutes later appeared outside the restaurant again, having clearly just done one loop.
Oh, no.
And stopped in the middle of the road, put the emergency, like the hazard lights on.
Yeah.
Beep, 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 beep.
God.
Leaning out of the window. Come on! Get in the car!
Why?
Get in the car!
It's
He
lunchtime.
didn't even look up.
Wow.
He was stoic in his continuance of eating this carbonara. Like, and she, baby, I'm fucking going. I'm going.
Seems like you're not.
Baby. He didn't even look up.
Bless him.
She drove on 10 yards, parked the car, and came back in.
Oh, no.
He'd worn her down.
What, she just came in and sat down?
Just came in and sat down.
Wow. Maybe she does this at every place they ever go. Maybe it's like
He's
a bit
just
they're
so
working on.
bored of it.
It's like Impractical Jokers, but no one's filming.
Yeah, it was like...
What a weird
And then she
dynamic.
came in, and she was clearly like annoyed still, but she'd just given up the scene. Like, she wasn't shouting. She was just sat there talking. And he was like, all right. And then he finished his food, they paid, and then they left.
Wow.
That was it.
That sounds like such a touching story of young love, doesn't
I
it?
know.
Very, very functional.
Very visceral.
Functioning relationship. And I can only imagine that marriage is on the cards.
Do you think so?
I know so.
Just around the river bend.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, there we go. We were going to talk briefly about the World Cup, weren't we?
Yeah.
Because it's something that we're struggling to process at all.
Yeah.
England in the semi-finals for the first time since God was born.
Yeah, it's something which we've both professed a real emotional incapacity to process.
Yeah, I just don't know, like we've talked about before, having supported losing parties in every election ever.
I mean, my team are hardly champions, world
Neither
beaters.
was mine when I used to go and see Charlton
Yeah,
play.
no,
Spoiler, they're now
even
a
less so
five-a-side
now,
team in Dagenham. Sponsored by like Mr. Muscle's off-brand competitor, Captain Bicep. Likes the
Master
jobs you don't
Deltoid.
mind. likes the job you don't mind. It's such a good, it's like, I can't wait to do the wash it, and he's just done it for you.
Yeah.
Fucking
I
captain.
was gonna listen to a new album and
No, don't worry about it. I'll do it for you.
Wow.
Yeah.
A real Mrs. Doubtfire type.
Yes, it was a bit, wasn't it? But yeah, victory is something I'm not used to.
Specifically
dealing
for
with.
England, though.
Yes.
I mean, our international tournament prowess.
It's pretty close to our personal international tournament.
Yeah,
say there is none.
we have won as much between us internationally as this England side.
And yet,
Here
there
we
they
go,
are,
there
2-0.
they are. And it was such a
handy
easy
victory.
game.
Yeah, it was really weird.
We just absolutely dominated the whole
Every way.
thing
It's been the best World Cup there ever was.
by such a preposterously long way.
And it's been nice to see like people who don't normally care kind of getting wrapped up in it as well.
It is
Of
great.
course, that brings with it some of the, what I'm going to call cool kids on Facebook who post statuses like, just really don't get the whole football thing. I mean, what
those
is it?
are
A couple of
cool.
lads kicking a ball. I mean, come on, what is this? Primary skull? Bullshit.
Little Winnie the Pooh joke there.
Yeah, it was.
That's nice.
What's the motivation there, do you think? That they just have to, it's like a superiority thing?
Yeah.
God, how dull do you have to be to like the most watched sporting event in the whole fucking galaxy?
Yeah, I think so. And I think what we should nip in the bud here and now
Yep.
is that there will be people, maybe, unfortunately, some of them are our listeners, who think that we are the same when it comes to, let's say, Hamilton.
No, they
That, it's really cool to dislike probably the most popular musical in the world right now.
Yeah, but the difference is
That it is
Lin-Manuel's
demonstrably
monster
bullshit.
and the World Cup is just great.
Yeah, there's no real counter argument to that, is there?
If anyone has any, I mean, you don't have to love it, but you've got to kind of take your hat off to it.
It's like I'd only want to hear from someone who loves football but hates this World Cup.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, we love musicals
Yeah.
but hate Hamilton.
So I feel like there's an opinion.
Yeah,
can be more
like if
qualified
you
in
don't
World Cup.
like football anyway,
Yeah.
then the chances of you liking the World Cup,
What
Probably
about
minimal.
that article that you told me about? I don't think I read it. That was like in the New York Post or something about like why the World Cup is just a waste of time.
oh yeah, why football is just
Oh, was it? It was
bullshit.
football
Yeah, it was
in
football
general
as a whole. Yeah,
Wow.
soccer as
And
they
what-
call it.
What was roughly their argument? Was it?
That the Americans weren't
Watertight.
involved, so it isn't very good.
Oh, that is a letdown. And their referees are particularly poor
Bullshit.
as well.
Yeah, very, very, very rubbish.
That's unfortunate, but it raises some good points, and I think maybe that was the kind of informed opinion.
no, it didn't.
Oh no!
No,
I
it
meant
was
it
nothing.
raised no points.
Yeah, that was it.
And anyone who thinks that the NFL is worth bothering with above soccer, I mean, that's
You
couldn't
can
be more
delete
wrong.
the podcast from your device and never speak to us again.
Very poor sport.
It is a bad sport.
It's not fun to watch.
No, like not in any way.
There was a great Reddit thread on, I can't remember what subreddit it was. It might have just been like a post to someone's profile that went viral, but it was basically about how they took someone who was visiting America for the first time, like a cousin or something, to a baseball match. They're like diehard baseball fans, live in Boston, I think.
Yeah.
Go every week. Do they play every week in baseball? Probably.
If you like. Yeah, maybe.
Go every week. They've got an annual base pass, is what they call them, the ABPs.
Oh, yeah.
And they said that the sport has now been ruined by seeing it through the eyes of someone who could tell you precisely why it was so dull to watch. And I think the same is true of most of the sports that are really big in America.
Yeah,
There's a- why do
basketball,
they-
baseball, NFL,
Why do
NHL,
they all
I
like
think.
real-time strategy games where there's like the strategy is let's throw it to the same guy every single time.
Yeah.
Hope for the best. It's odd, isn't it?
Yeah.
I don't know why.
I don't know how you could like look at the NFL
Hmm.
and then not just think that your basic everyday corner in football
Would be-
isn't like just already a superior alternative.
Yeah, absolutely. And I went to see a basketball match. I think I've talked about this on the show before when I was in San Diego. And basketball is a sport that produces some great moments that are very visual. And there's like a huge amount of athleticism, as there in all these sports, as there is rather. Is there a lot of athleticism in baseball? Probably.
Yeah, at the top level.
Yeah. okay, so there's all that. And you can see like basketball montages. I couldn't care less about the sport, but the montages are like cool to watch. But every 2 seconds, they just stopped for what felt like 3 hours to advertise like Skittles and things.
Yeah.
With like cheerleaders who couldn't have been less invested in the process.
Couldn't care.
It's all just strange, isn't it?
It's really odd.
It's a nice manifestation of American exceptionalism that they're like, well, because this is America's national sport, it is inherently great.
Yeah.
Not because
even though really nowhere else in the world has taken it up.
It's weird, isn't it?
It's just dire.
And that's why I lump in the Brits who fetishize American football. And like, oh, everyone going to watch the Philadelphia Spring Chickens this weekend? You're like, well, absolutely not, because it's dull as sin.
Yeah.
I'd rather play a free-to-play tower defense real-time strategy game that takes 35 minutes to set up each play, and then everyone gets bored and dies and gets brain damage.
I'd be interested to hear an alternative opinion from a listener
who really likes
really likes any of them.
Yeah, I would as well. I'm prepared to be challenged on it.
Because did you see we've got the personal challenge of bringing Professor Matt round to Disney Way, because it turns out that's a great big gaping hole in his heart.
Don't say things like that. That's a horrid image.
You do not get to complain about
like
awful
heart
bodily imagery on this show. Goodness. You are the number one source of disgust.
Yes, I think that's a pretty easy challenge, really, because the content speaks for itself. It's not for no reason that they've won the most like awards of any studio in the world.
And also, I mean, we probably won't get to talk about it because the only episode we have in between is Wednesday, and that's going to be content filled. So we're not going to get to do much of the chat.
No.
But what are we doing on Friday?
Oh, how about I give
Friday
an
the
audio
13th
clue?
of July.
That's right. We're going to a whistling show.
Oh, guys!
WhistleCon 2018.
Disney presents.
Oh, it's going to be so good. All the best whistlers are there. There's Big Lips Jimmy. The girth of those
Lungs
things.
Larry.
He could suck a potato through a drinking straw, let me tell you. Sounds like Kirby, probably. No, we're going to go and see. On the day it comes out in the UK, only like 4.5 years after it came out everywhere else, not that we're bitter about it.
No!
Those Incredibles... Part 2, more incredible, more of the time is the official
The
tagline.
Incredibles.
Now I've seen, the first 5-10 minutes of the film already being a Disney insider, a Diz insider, in fact. And I can confirm that it's going to be quite a special moment. Very exciting.
So hyped.
Yeah, I'm excited as well. And
So
that
we'll
seems
report
like,
back on that.
We will. We'll let you know how it is if you haven't already seen it, because it's been out for a month.
Otherwise, all we've got to say is
What?
a week from today, Sunday, the 15th,
What about it?
2 huge things coincide. What? Number 1,
Church.
3 things.
Yeah.
2 huge, 1 church.
Is it a feast day this Sunday or not?
No, it's the World Cup final.
Oh my goodness.
And it's the That's a Shame 100th episode.
Fuck. And it's not, when FIFA contacted us to ask if we minded sharing that date, we were like, guys, I can see why you'd think we would, but I'm only too happy to share that honour with your World Cup final.
It's the same day as the Wimbledon finals as well. Imagine bothering to watch.
What about, was it you that told me when someone asked if they could have just like the punditry on one of the many screens surrounding Wimbledon where they've broadcast to people who haven't got tickets? They were like, absolutely not a chance. What horrid idiots.
But then, all it meant was on Saturday that Wimbledon was essentially empty.
There weren't even 2 tennis players there. There's just one guy in a
Andy Murray dropped
wall.
out so he could keep watching, and he's Scottish.
And he's very good at it as well. So it was a real blow for him. Yes, that will be exciting. We don't have, it might surprise you to learn, all of the plans finalised, which is to say that we haven't done any planning yet, but leave it with us because we're nothing if not committed.
We always say we'll come through for you guys.
And we always do.
Yeah.
Say that we'll come through.
Exactly.
And then who knows what will happen.
Yeah.
Until next episode, which is going to be a very serious content heavy Wednesday. Again, haven't planned that yet, so we'll find out what it involves.
It's going to be my visceral live as in like real time
Yeah.
description of the descent into that cave where those boys are trapped in
Why, are
Thailand.
you going to go and help or what?
No, what it is, I'm going to watch some video footage.
Okay.
And
then
I'm just going to describe it second by second.
Oh,
and it's going to be probably a 5-hour episode.
Isn't it interesting that they've assembled like a crack team of people from around the world who are like so specifically suited to be able to solve this issue? They've got the guy who headed up the freeing of the Chilean miners.
Yeah.
That's amazing that he's just someone that you can call and
But
be
like years later,
it's happened again.
He's definitely a film character,
Yeah.
isn't he? We need you for one last job.
I was 2 days from retirement when the cave job came in.
Okay, what I want to know, what Mark wants to know, what my girlfriend wants to know, and that just hasn't been mentioned in any of the numerous articles I've mentioned, is that how the fuck
That's
did
what
they
I
get
want.
in there?
I don't know.
Like, how is it a 3.5 hour dive for professional divers to get into that cave?
One of whom has died doing it.
Yeah, like the most experienced guy because he had too little oxygen. That one of the parts of the journey down, the maximum width is 40 centimeters.
Wow. And isn't it completely like unlightable and you can't even like use GPS because it's so below rock?
Like, how did they accidentally 13 of them end up there?
I think the most likely theory is, and I don't know if you've played the game Mario, but those big pipes that suck you into the underworld.
Is there a reason that the divers aren't using those?
Well, they don't know about them because only through the eyes of a child does that kind of wonder become unlocked.
Fuck. So what we need is child divers.
Chivers. That's my new sitcom.
Ever say that again.
Child divers. That's
It's
a
better
great
than
concept.
dials.
It certainly is.
Yeah.
And it certainly was. Well, look, this has been That's a Shame, and there ain't nobody can contest that because it just is.
Yeah.
Just irrefutably,
That's a fact.
indisputably is. Like it or leave it. Preferably the first one, and preferably in the form of a review at shame.city/reviews.
Was that a segue?
It was perfect.
Was that a
to witness,
segue?
wasn't it? I know
Nice.
you're impressed.
I liked that.
We've also got some ways of getting in touch, haven't we? And we are big fans of them.
We are. If, like, Toby Milestones King, who, gains all new relevance next
God,
weekend.
he's wetting himself.
Yeah.
He's frothing at the
Cannot
gams.
wait.
Yeah.
Champing.
Chomping
said
at
bit.
the bins.
If, like Toby Milestones King, you've got some incorrect opinions to email us, then, sorry, did I?
God, that syndrome thing really threw him for a loop.
No, I'll take syndrome.
Okay.
Because, if you look at it another way, he's just trying to help everyone.
No, he's not. He's objectively
He's-
evil. He tries to shoot down a plane full of children. Is that something you...
Look, when he first sent those missiles, he didn't know they were on there. And I don't think he heard properly when it turned out. I think he probably misheard.
You're
He's
a
got a lot of
syndrome
hair.
truther.
Yeah, exactly.
Right, cool. That's a great side of history.
That film
to be
was
on.
just Disney's portrayal
Yeah.
of
There's
syndrome.
two sides to every story.
Yeah.
That's going to be
You know-
used in the trailer for Syndrome's prequel, isn't it?
Yeah, it's like how E.L. James, she wrote the 50 Shades series.
Oh, yeah,
and
of Grey.
And now she's writing them again, but from the perspective of Christian Grey.
It's so clever, isn't it?
Because it
all
was
she
probably a
does-
completely different story.
Well, she control F's for what's her name?
I actually don't
I think
know.
it's Annabelle Sex Fiend. She control
Oh, yeah.
F's for that. Find and replace. Just swap all the pronouns and you're done.
Yeah.
That's another $50 billion and 18 films that no one saw.
Exactly.
Very sad indeed.
So if you've got an email, TAS, TAS,
Yeah.
at shame.city,
TAS
or
at.
you can find
Yeah.
us and our inboxes
Yep.
via the website, shame.city/contact.
Great place to be.
You can get in touch via the old Twitter.
Big fan.
At That's a Shamecast for the show, at DE Delane for myself, and at Isaac BD for, you guessed it, the one and only
It's me.
Isaac Bernier Dumbledore.
Yes, I hadn't even bothered doing that before, but I think I will be changing all my social media accordingly. Until episode 99, which, God help us, is just on the horizon. I've been Isaac, you've been.
I've been Declan.
Catch you on the flip.
Bye, guys.
Look for the bare necessities, the simple bare necessities. Forget about your worries and your strife. I mean the bare nature's recipes that bring the bare necessities of life. Wherever I wander, wherever I roam, I couldn't be fonder of my big home. The bees are buzzing in the tree to make some honey just for me. The bare necessities of life will come to you. For the bare necessities, the simple bare necessities. Forget about your worries and your strife. I mean the bare necessities, oh Mother Nature's recipes that bring the bare necessities of life. Wherever I wander, wherever I roam, I couldn't be fonder, my new home. The bees are buzzing in the tree to make some honey just for me. The bare necessities of life will come to you.